Hello and welcome. My name is Professor Winnie. Today we will be talking about virtual learning environments, VLEs. We will have a look at Adobe Connect, a 2D VLE, and we will look at Second Life used as a 3D VLE. At the end of this module, you will see two sample videos showing how you can use Second Life as a teaching and learning platform. Can you imagine watching a video while in a 3D world? How about watching a video in a 3D world that was filmed in that 3D world? Think about it. In a way, it's like Alice through the looking glass. So join me as we venture into virtual learning environments. In the digital age, many VLEs have emerged that provide distance education to students all over the world. A variety of 2D and 3D VLEs have become popular in recent years. Adobe Connect. Adobe Connect is one of the most popular 2D VLEs. It offers a web-based meeting space for online conferencing, collaborating, e-learning, and holding webinars. Classrooms are static and can be used over and over again. That way, new URLs don't have to be generated for each meeting. Adobe Connect offers 3 layout modes: sharing, discussion, and collaboration. Connect's virtual classroom space offers highly dynamic 2D tools in each mode. The platform can manage video, audio, screen sharing, discussion, and collaboration. Connect also handles large groups very well with little internet lag. Class meetings in Adobe Connect can be recorded. It has such strong video capabilities that small groups can use webcams and feel they are truly in a face-to-face environment. Connect also has breakout rooms for smaller group discussions. The comfort and ease of use of Adobe Connect is a good way for teachers to transition their skills to the digital world. Adobe Connect has become an industry standard, and it is easy to find tutorials and support online. Adobe offers 30-day trials for learning purposes. Second Life. 3D virtual game worlds and 3D virtual social worlds have grown in popularity over the years. Educational institutions have begun to take notice. As a result, more studies are being conducted on the usability and educational value of these environments. Second Life, or SL, is a popular virtual social world. It is also known as a multi-user virtual environment, MUVE. Second Life is not a game in which users compete. It is an environment that allows users to create their own avatar, attend conferences, travel, socialize, build objects, and take classes. Many of the activities in Second Life parallel activities in real life. Does Second Life provide an effective language learning environment? As interest in learning English has grown, more and more schools and universities around the world have begun to offer English courses. The problem has always been that students have no place to practice their oral skills. An immersion program has always been the most desired way to learn English. However, few people can afford the time or have the money to immerse themselves in an English-speaking environment long enough to gain proficiency. Second Life is an immersive environment. It is a virtual space where students can come together from around the world to practice English. Much of Second Life is in English, so it helps to know some vocabulary to be able to follow the various instructions one encounters. Second Life is a good place for English students to learn to follow instructions. In 2007, Second Life introduced the voice chat element, and avatars' mouths began moving when people spoke into their microphones. After that, Second Life went through major changes in terms of its technology and capabilities. Freezing crashes were improved, and communication became smoother. As consumer equipment continues to accelerate, and as internet connections grow stronger, Second Life is becoming more accessible to populations around the world. With pedagogical guidelines and proper teacher training, Second Life will be a viable tool for educators. Second Life is an excellent platform for project-based pedagogy. Students have the opportunity to work on real-world projects with real teams. They can experience collaboration across geographic boundaries, which promotes intercultural understanding. When students work on projects together, they often forget about language and focus on communication. The need to communicate is great, and the motivation is high. This is sometimes called incidental learning. Students acquire language in real situations in the process of learning something else. The language becomes incidental to the task at hand. According to linguist Stephen Krashen, the affective filter is lowered. Students begin to relax and feel they are in a safe place to express themselves freely. Many people want to study English for professional advancement. Second Life is a good solution for busy people who have a difficult time making traditional classes fit into their schedule. The ability to learn synchronously and asynchronously allows learners to participate in the way that best meets their needs. Second Life's information and communications technology afford great potential for language learning around the world. Barriers to learning. Many countries still have unreliable internet connections, which can impede smooth lessons. A lack of teachers, effective teacher training, and pedagogical guidelines persist. Teachers must take time to adequately train and prepare students, and many are daunted by the learning curve in Second Life. English City. English City is run by LanguageLab.com, a company based in London. LanguageLab.com was founded in 2005 by David Kaskal and Shiv Rajendran. They sought to create a virtual space where students could gather and practice their English. What is English City? Second Life is divided into a series of islands. An English city is located on one of those islands. It is a very realistic replica of a city, and buildings are constructed based on the type of English their clients prefer. Some of their most popular English courses are Aviation and Air Traffic Controllers, Petroleum Industry and Barge Workers, Medical Workers and First Responders, Market Leader Business Program, Pearson Education, and IELTS and TOEFL training. If the simulations seem real, does the brain know the difference? Is simulated reality more meaningful and more memorable for language learners than classroom learning? According to Laura Jeffcoat, the community director of English City, their goal is for students to learn by having an experience. This experiential learning is sometimes called learning through guided or situated cognition. Immersion in Second Life might even be better than going to another country, because shy students gain courage when acting through an avatar. It is often easier to role-play and pretend when in a virtual environment. All teachers in English City are native speakers trained in language teaching and in the use of virtual worlds. English City is populated with teachers who play characters in the city. The city has houses, churches, offices, bars, restaurants, theaters, a courthouse, and more. Teachers become bar servers, business people, bus drivers, fashion designers, and journalists, to name a few. Classes are held in a gypsy caravan, a zoo, a theater, a train station, and multiple other locations, so the instructors play many roles. The students come to English City to spend time interacting with these characters. In the process, students have tasks to complete as a part of their interactions. The teachers are facilitators for these learners. And students are also encouraged to form relationships with their peers. LanguageLab.com now has students from over 50 countries. In the beginning, most students came from Western Europe. Now, Asia provides the most students. According to Shiv Rajendran, the average user spends 14.8 hours a week in English City. The population is evenly split between males and females. The average student stays with Language Lab for about 4 months, though some have remained for 3 years or more. Rajendran claims the schools that contract with English City don't see Language Lab as a replacement. Instead, students are sent in addition to their English courses. Students come to English City for a variety of reasons. Many are too busy to attend normal classes. Some places in the world don't have qualified teachers. Many see this as a way to meet other ESL speakers. Some are using English as a lingua franca with other non-native speakers to do business and participate in other international activities. The value of English City is that it provides a place for synchronous language practice in an immersive environment. Often fantasy, costumes, and role-playing are integrated into the lessons. This gives students the chance to step into another character to express themselves. Language Lab has addressed the Second Life learning curve by meeting students in a welcome area and doing what is called onboarding. Onboarding means students are immediately trained in Second Life skills, and they are accompanied around English City to become accustomed to the environment. In addition, Language Lab provides support to teachers and students 24/7 in multiple languages. Only teachers and registered students are allowed into English City. That way, there is a minimum of distractions that can impede student learning. The students know why they have come to English City, and their tasks are clear. They are not wandering as many do in Second Life. Even though most classes in English City are synchronous, self-study stations are located in many places. Students can benefit from hours of asynchronous online learning when they are not in class. Many relationships are formed in English City, so students are able to cultivate an active English-speaking social life if they choose to do so. Machinima. Since Quake introduced the art of machinima in 1996, many instructors have become interested in educational uses of machinima. Machinimas are videos made using screen capture applications and filmed while immersed in a 3D environment. Inexpensive software such as Fraps, Snaps, ScreenFlow, and Camtasia Studio are used. Machinima animations are quite rudimentary, but teachers have found that students enjoy watching machinimas and they enjoy making them as well. Once teachers have mastered the basic skills of making a machinima, their students will easily and willingly follow. As this art form grows in popularity, more and more teachers will be using machinimas in the classroom. More machinima training programs are emerging in Second Life. Heike Phillip, Carol Rainbow, Randall Sadler, and others at Education Island offer seminars in the art of making machinimas for language learners. Also, Barbara McQueen and Jens Kjær Olsen have been working at Education Island, creating the very first machinima workflow procedure that language teachers can follow. See Barbara McQueen's instructional videos on YouTube. When training teachers in machinima, it is important to impress on them that they are not trying to compete with filmmakers. Teachers need to find a simple workflow so each project is small and manageable. If machinimas were seen as big, complex productions, teachers would probably shy away from this valuable tool. Welcome to English City, a creation of LanguageLab.com, developed specifically for English language learners. Today, I'm going to take you on a whirlwind tour of English City. There are so many things to see and quite a few things to talk about. Let me catch my breath and we'll get started. LanguageLab.com has its own proprietary browser that teleports you directly to the welcome area where you are met by a host when you are new. On every block, there are locator signs, so it is easy to find where you want to go. And there are troubleshooting stations for those who are having trouble with their headsets. There's a Market Leader Business Center that is named after the best-selling business English book in the world, published by Pearson Education. English City also has an IELTS and TOEFL preparation center. Airline English has been popular in English City. From baggage handling to ticket sales. And then there's Aviation English. Flight attendants need to know enough English to perform their duties while on the ground and in the air. They need to know all safety procedures in English. And pilots and co-pilots need to learn to communicate with the control tower.
140, fly 1000 for 5000.
5 Los Angeles departure radar contact, climb and maintain 3000. Speed.
Oil rig workers need to learn the international language of English. They need to practice repair procedures, both above water and below. Loading and unloading barges is also very complicated. All of this requires a good command of English, or lives could be at stake. In English City, there is a lock system and waterworks for those who need to practice marine English. There's English for the environmental sciences. LanguageLab.com has had many requests for medical English training. They have an ambulance, an emergency room, an intensive care unit with all of the equipment so they can practice medical procedures and patient relations. English City has English classes for those working in the hospitality industry. There's a hotel, beaches, restaurants, bars, lunch counters, cafes, and cocktail lounges. This allows students to practice their English in a variety of hospitality settings. There's a newspaper for those interested in journalistic English, and a bank for those interested in financial English. Classes are held in many different locations. Here is a class being held in a gypsy caravan. Here is a class being held on Halloween, in which all of the students are dressed in different costumes. There are business classes, basic English classes, and city events that the students can participate in. According to Language Lab, a space's learning validity depends on these elements. Here is a checklist of success factors for teaching and learning. Language Lab believes in learning as doing, and the theorists seem to agree. What a wonderful day it is. I hope you enjoyed my whirlwind tour. I think I'll just spend the rest of the afternoon floating down the river. After all, I don't have to be anywhere. I'm just an avatar. Hello, and welcome to English Easily. My name is Professor Winnie. Today we will be talking about the first conditional. When we use the first conditional, we are thinking about the future. We are referring to a condition or a situation in future time and the result of this condition. We choose to use the first conditional because there is a real possibility that this condition will happen. For example, here I am looking at the sky on a Saturday morning. I want to go for a walk later. However, there are some dark clouds in the sky. Even though it is not raining yet, the probability that it will rain is very real. So, I start thinking about what I will do if it rains. Perhaps it will be a better idea to stay home and read in front of the fireplace. Notice how a first conditional sentence is constructed. There are two clauses in this construction. A clause that begins with if, or an if clause, and a result clause. In the if clause, use the simple present to talk about the condition in the future. If it rains. In the result clause, use will plus the simple form of the verb to talk about the possible result in the future. I will stay home and read in front of the fireplace. If it rains, I will stay home and read in front of the fireplace. The thing to consider when using the first conditional is that there is a real possibility that the condition will happen. So, if I see dark clouds in the sky and the wind begins to blow, it will probably rain. Be careful of a mistake frequently made by English as a second language learners. Never use will in the if clause. Thank you for joining me here at English Easily in the wonderful world of Second Life.